Rebecca and I am the Operations Manager here at Excite Media.
And I'm Laura, I'm the Head of SEO and Copywriting.
And today we're going to be taking you through keyword research, what I like to call keyword Schmeword, as a part one of our WTF is SEO book series, creating these videos as educational content that you can enjoy and learn a little bit about. Just as a disclaimer, this is all going to be very foundational. If you are an SEO specialist, there will be nothing new or groundbreaking here, but just putting in really simple terms, a little bit about keyword research and just taking everyone through the basics.
Keywords are the words that people type into the Google search bar to find services and information and basically anything they want to uncover on Google or other search engines. Yeah,
that's it, not just Google. I guess just something that's kind of top of mind at the moment with AI search and things. Do we think there's keywords involved in AI search and kind of LLMs, like would typing in, looking for a plumber in Brisbane be kind of a keyword in an LLM, you reckon, Laura?
In an LLM, I guess so. I think it's early days with LLMs, and I think the way that we search in them is very different. Keeping it foundational. Yeah, keeping it foundational. An LLM is a large language model. I got that right. So your ChatGPTs, your Perplexities. So when you're talking to a chatbot and you're searching something, you're not typing in plumber Brisbane like you would with Google or a different search engine. You're often putting it in a phrase. So it's, where can I find the best plumber in Brisbane?
Yeah, I imagine as well, probably a lot of people have gone to something like ChatGPT to try and fix it themselves first as well. We'll get a little bit more into, I guess, in a few videos time of how kind of content plays into that sort of thing. But, there is keyword usage in all of these LLMs, but, it's probably a secondary topic that dives into a little bit more. Yeah, it is simplest terms. Keywords is essentially the words you use to be able to find a product or a service. I guess another part to keywords that I think is also quite top of mind at the moment is, before probably we were both born, you used to be able to just put keywords in verbatim. So I guess before we dive really into keyword research and how to choose your keywords, I think it's important for us to really discuss how is keyword research actually playing a part in SEO these days? If we're not using keywords verbatim as much anymore, what is the purpose of them?
Well, I suppose back in the day when we were looking at including them verbatim in content and copy, the purpose was to find the one with the highest volume, yet the lower competition, and finding the right balance for your kind of website and where you sit in the market. That still kind of is the truth, but nowadays we're more so looking for what people are searching generally and getting more of an understanding of the varied terms that people might use to find that service.
Yeah, I think sitting there and saying, plumber Brisbane and Brisbane plumber are different keywords these days would be silly, but we still want to be aware of what people are searching for. I'm glad you brought up the competition thing, Laura. What I thought I would do is show a keyword research software tool that you can use. Now at Excite Media, we personally use Ahrefs. As a disclaimer, we have no affiliation with Ahrefs. It's just what works best for our agency and our processes and things like that. I do think there is an important component to all of this though. Choose one and stick with it. So whether you're going down the SEMrush, SE ranking, Ahrefs, whatever you prefer to use, just make sure you use one. So I've just brought up a little keyword explorer tool on Ahrefs here. We go. And I just wanted to show all the different kind of metrics that we are looking at when you are doing keyword research. And I guess this also allows us to talk about how we actually choose the right keywords here. So Laura, do you want to take us through just a few of the ones that you might look at when you are looking for this sort of thing?
Yeah, so I guess the biggest two that we would look at would be the search volume. So that's how many searches Ahrefs estimates that keyword to get on a search engine within a month. And then the next most important one for me is the keyword difficulty. So that's giving you a bit of a snapshot of how competitive that keyword is, and it's looking at the top websites that are ranking for that keyword and sort of how authoritative they are and what their content looks like, to give you an understanding of how difficult it's going to be to rank for that keyword.
Yeah, absolutely. So SEO agency, obviously you have a lot of SEO agencies trying to rank for that term, so we can see it's quite a difficult one. I think there is also some interesting ones with such like traffic potential. It can give you a little bit of an idea of what kind of traffic you could be looking at. So what the gain is as well of getting those people to your website. There's also always the top ranking result that it shows you as well, which can always be a really good opportunity to look at that website, see what they're doing really well, seeing where you could improve on as well from what they're doing as well. And then we've also got things like cost per click, which I actually think is a really good roundabout way to kind of come back and look at what you should be investing in SEO. Because if you just decided to go down the Google Ads route, you can see here for every single click to your website, it would cost approximately $10. And you want to remember that's just a click. That's not even necessarily a conversion. So that can get very, very expensive very, very quickly. So it gives you a bit of an idea on kind of what search terms you should be focusing on. Laura, how would you go about, I guess, choosing the right keywords to focus on for yourself?
I guess it depends on the client and the website. So at Excite Media, not to humble brag, but because we do SEO, we have a pretty good website. Our DR is 75, which out of 100, that's quite good. So I wouldn't feel too concerned about gunning for those more difficult keywords like SEO agency, for example. The 53 difficulty isn't too off-putting for me. However, if I was working with a smaller agency and they were wanting to rank for SEO agency, but say their DR was 10 and their domain was quite new and their website was quite new, then we'd be looking at longer tail keywords and keywords with lower difficulty.
Awesome. You've just used that phrase, longer tail keywords. Do you want to dive into a little bit about how that works? I think we've actually got some a little bit lower on the screen there.
A longer tail keyword is basically a keyword that's longer. It's more of a phrase. It's, 3, 4, 5 words within a keyword.
And I think you'd find typically longer tail keywords tend to actually be more questions, don't they? They tend to technically more often hit on informational topics, or they're very, very specific. So For example, down here, we can see there's how to choose an SEO agency would be an example of a longer tail keyword. But then there's also the second component to choosing your keyword, which is intent. And I think intent is really can be an overlooked part of SEO, but it's also one of those things where you very much can need a human's perspective. I know a lot of people are using a lot of AI tools for this, and it can be a really good way to get a really good jump start, but the intent of why someone is searching for that. So for example, someone saying, what is an SEO agency? That person might not be actually quite ready to actually purchase the SEO services yet. So that might not be a keyword that you want to focus on for a bottom of funnel marketing strategy. You might want to focus on that one as a bit more top of funnel. So I definitely think, also someone, for example, in a different industry, we could be looking at different types of tires or type of tire for a Ford Fiesta. I don't know if that car even exists anymore, but type of tires for a Ford Fiesta. That person might not be ready to have someone actually go in and actually change the tires. They might be looking to buy the tires themselves. So it's really important that when you are doing keyword research, that you actually look at what is ranking and seeing what kind of content is ranking for that search term, because Google will automatically categorize like for like. So if types of wheels for a Ford Fiesta is all just big directories of types of tires that can go on a Ford Fiesta, they're probably not going to put your tire changing business at the top either. So it's always just really good to make sure that you're looking at that intent and then deciding what you do next. So Laura, let's say we've chosen our keywords. Is there a recommended amount that you would decide for each page?
That's a good question. I suppose it depends on the type of page and how long it's going to be, because when you're writing a page, and I suppose this is getting into a whole other video, but the length might not need to be as long as other pages. So for SEO agency, we might want to touch on what is SEO, why should you do it over Google Ads, like how we do SEO. If you partner with Excite Media, do you get an account manager? What's included in the SEO package? Are we including content, copy, digital PR, etc.? So there's a lot of different components that we need to go into to cover the topic in full. So for us, it probably does make sense to have a longer list of keywords to get into. Whereas if we are talking about that tires in Brisbane keyword, it's probably more difficult to spend 2,000 words talking about installing tires, fitting tires, whatever you do with tires. It's probably harder to spend 2,000 words. So maybe for that page, you're looking at 1 to 5 keywords. For our SEO agency example, maybe that's closer to 10, but we're not focusing on stuffing those keywords in every chance we get either.
Yeah, and that keyword stuffing, I guess, brings us to our next point is how do we actually then integrate those SEO, keywords that we're focusing on into our copy? And I know we'll touch a little bit more into this, but I guess once you've got that plan, once you decided what keywords you're going to target, where would you go next? What would be the next step, I guess? Obviously, next step in the book. But
I guess the next step is drafting up your page and including the keywords. And when we talk about including keywords in copy, it gets a little bit confusing because I have 2 contrasting pieces of advice, which is that you shouldn't focus on where you're putting the keywords. You should just write naturally, cover the topic in full, and talk to your target audience. But in saying that, your primary keyword should be in the title, and you probably do want your other keywords in the headings.
Absolutely.
But that should be counterbalanced by being natural content that just flows and explains the service or the product or whatever the page is about.
Yeah, it really comes back to, I think, keyword research isn't so much as reinventing the wheel as it's just ensuring that people are searching the same way that you do. I think I'm originally from the UK, and something that I found is when I came to Australia, there was a lot of phrases that I would use that, Australians might not. So for me, keyword research was always a really good opportunity to see where the search volume is. How are people searching in the way that I might search in a slightly, different version of the same words when we're talking about the same thing. And I think that's exactly what it is, that when you go to write those service pages, all you're doing is talking about the topic of the keyword that you're trying to attract. And the keyword you're trying to attract is usually just your service or your products and things. So it really is quite foundational, and it doesn't actually need to be as complex as possible. Really, keyword research is just the process of ensuring that people are searching in the same way that you are, and then choosing them like that as well. So let's say we've gone forward, and I know we're going to touch a little bit more on later about how the results work, but I wanted us to just quickly touch on how do you actually track keyword movement? How do we know if putting the keywords in has worked?
I mean, you can use a keyword tool like Ahrefs, which you just brought up.
Absolutely. So I guess touching a little bit on Ahrefs, once again, this is why it's important that you have a source of truth, because Ahrefs will put you in one place, SEMrush will put you in one place, and you want to be able to measure your progress from that place, and it's never going to be accurate. So I would also say if you are a client using an SEO agency, and you are wanting to get into the details and you want to get the piece of software, use the same piece of software that your agency is using. So then you're all, singing from the same songbook. So I guess, Laura, talking through, this is obviously the Excite Media SEO profile, and you can see any clients, any website in the world's kind of keyword rankings and how they're moving up and down and things. But talking through, Laura, a little bit about what's going on here for Excite Media. We can see some of our results, but I see a bad, one keyword has gone down. In that instance, should we be panicking?
No. What I would do when seeing that little red one is the first thing I want you to do is go and click the SERP over on the right.
You'd like me to do that now? You can do that now.
I'd like to do that right now. Yes, so what we can see has happened there is we actually haven't moved from being this, well, we have, but basically the Google search results page has changed. It used to have the local map pack, and then we were second, and now it's put another one of its own features above us, but we're still the first listing showing up for that keyword.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why context is important. Never just look at a keyword and assume, that is the be all and end all. And as you can see here as well, for some of our keywords, Laura, for example, search engine optimization Brisbane, we actually haven't moved positions there. We're still in number 1, but the traffic has actually dropped. And I think that can be a common thing, that people just assume that they've dropped positions, even though they might not necessarily actually have. Talk to me about, I guess, a little bit of the importance of SERP features. I know AI overviews is a big thing these days. As we can see, we've gained one. Appearing in image results, how does all that play in for yourself when you're looking at keywords movement?
When we're looking at the SERP features and sort of where we're showing up in relation to them, I guess there's a few things to think about. If I'm seeing the local map pack is consistently coming up as the first thing on the page, then I know that I should be more focused on my Google Business profile for that keyword. And optimizing Google Business profile, I think that's something that we talk to our clients about a lot, is that it's not just about being the first website listing on the page. Often people are going through that local map pack and they're just finding website links from there. And then I guess the other aspect is, if people also ask is coming up, then there is an informational angle to that keyword. So SEO agency Brisbane, yes, people are probably searching that with commercial intent, but if we're seeing people also ask is there, then people are likely engaging with that and looking at the questions that people are asking in relation to that term as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, a component of all of this is when looking at what number you are as well. That's an objective truth as well. It's not necessarily going to be like for like. You could be sitting next to your best friend in the exact same location, searching the exact same thing and getting different results as well. So, you could Google SEO Brisbane right now and Excite Media might not be first for you, but it is the objective truth that overall people and the results and things that we are actually number 1 as well. So, and that's obviously today. Tomorrow it could change the next hour and then go back up. We need to remember as well, search engines are very fluid and moving, so it's never anything to be concerned about. You always want to look at the overall trajectory of things. I guess obviously then, speaking of Ahrefs as being an objective truth, it's also a third-party data tool. So I think we can also look at things like Google Search Console as well. Laura, how do you go about using Google Search Console to kind of track your keywords and things?
Well, there's a few different ways that you can do it. So you could look at your last, say, 28 days of data, and then you could scroll down. But you can go in there and you can see sort of the top queries that you're getting searched for. One question that we do get sometimes from clients is, why are most of my clicks coming through for my brand name? Doesn't that mean it's not working? I would say it's the opposite, in that you want to be getting found for your brand name, and that shows that that's almost like a bottom of funnel piece.
Yeah.
They've searched SEO agency Brisbane before, we've come up, they've gone away, they've deliberated, they've remembered our name, and then they've put in Excite Media and they've come back to inquire.
Yep. I also think as well, as we're moving into a more diverse digital landscape, digital ecosphere, this is Google Search Console. So this is just taking Google's data. Also good to remember with Google Search Console, it's a few days behind sometimes as well on the data as well. So if you receive a report on the very first of the month from your agency, might not actually have gotten all the data through yet. That might be even better. So that's always good to remember. But this is just one tool as well. Obviously, there's lots of different search engines that people are using, and we are seeing more and more people move and kind of diversify their search experience. A lot of younger people are actually turning to TikTok for their search as well. Obviously, that's a different component, but by optimizing for your entire website, your entire brand, like you said, Laura, those brand name ones are actually really important because they're finding you in other places as well as a first port of call. I guess that's all of our keywords kind of overview. Obviously, this is very much an overview. Laura, do you have anything else to add on to the topic of keywords, how to choose them, obviously we'll talk about integrating them and results a little bit more, but anything extra that you want to add?
Not that I can think of. I think you're right. It'll all come back to how you integrate the keywords, which is a whole other video.
Absolutely. So that means you'll have to come back if you want to learn more about that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or if you need help with your own SEO, please do reach out to Excite Media. You can find us at www.excitemedia.com.au. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.